Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Flow Friday, episode 40. Excited to be joining you from our offices in the Cebu, the Philippines, HM Tower in IT Park. So I'm going to share my screen now. We're going to get kick-started into today. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hey, you're having a great chat only yesterday, Wednesday, with CEO of our people outsourcing team, um, which is my sister, Fee Kesri. I'm sure Fee's here today. And one of the interesting parts of our conversation was about when you're doing these digital transformations in organizations and you're bringing in AI agents and a foundation platform like Rayopro, is that there's a lot of excitement around building the agents and the potential. And then all of a sudden, a couple of things happen. Well, first, one is there can be this fear and overwhelm that, oh my goodness, our agent's going to take my job. And then the other is that once we get past that, we realize that AI isn't about role replacement, it's about task replacement. And so that by doing the task replacement, you get to actually enhance an individual's ability to deliver results. So once you get past the first piece, the second part then is uh, the excitement comes about the potential because the agents can really help you. But then it's like all the mental cogs start slowing down around, well, I don't really know where or how to apply it. And today's session is about changing that. It's about helping you to be able to uncover where agents can be useful for you in the activities that you do on a daily basis. The trick is we're actually going to use the AI agents to help us uncover where AI agents can be applied. So that's the fun part for today's session. I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get into a little bit of foundational theory to start with, and then we'll jump into a build together. So here we are, episode 40. It's 11th of April, and we are not in Bali, Indonesia. We are actually in the Philippines, so wrong side. Now, what I want to share with you is this concept of amplified intelligence. And this is where we're taking the best from human intuition and we're blending that with the power of AI processing so that we can enhance every individual. Now, that's a very high level concept. We now need to be able to break this down with a framework. How can we get this collaboration between human and machine happening? And it starts at the baseline level and then moves all the way up to the top where it becomes more complex. And at the base, what we're looking for here is to actually augment the current work. So that's where AI will enhance human capabilities and skills, and that's level one. It then goes up another level after that, which is to assure. And that's where you're using the AI to ensure that the quality and reliability of the work that's being done comes out the way that you desire. So it's like a checking part. Then we go into advise. So the AI actually offers insights and recommendations based on the work that's being done. And then accelerate, which is the AI is speeding up the process and the workflows even faster than what you were doing if you were doing it just independently, right? So, because if you think about in business, we have our systems, our processes, procedures, and then steps. And when you take a process from something that you're doing from a documentation perspective, and then you convert it into being a live process, then it turns into a workflow point in time. Now, the best workflows are digitized so that you've got consistency of execution. And then the really enhanced ones, well, they're not just digitized, they've got the AI agents involved and automation to help the execution of those and deliver greater speed, consistency, quality, reduction in time, and therefore reduction in cost as well, allowing you to achieve even more and get a higher or more impactful value exchange within an organization. Then you go on to assist, and so the AI is providing some basic support and help as well throughout the process. And then eventually you get all the way up to adapt, and that's where the AI is actually learning and adjusting to the new conditions. And we're going to see right throughout this year as we do Flow Fridays and further extended sessions, how we're going to keep going up this collaboration framework. And we'll be referring back to this on a regular basis as well, so that you've got a deeper understanding of how to apply AI at work and get more useful impact on a daily basis. Now, after this, conceptually, it's then starting to think about the types of treatments that you have available to you. And so we break this down into 4 key treatments. The first one is the conversational agent. So it's like chatting to a single agent that is best when it's grounded in information around that particular agent's role, around your organizational data. The next stage is the linear workflow automation, which we're very used to building in Rayopro, which we'll be doing again today. The sort of newer approach is the multi-agent orchestration, and that's the agentic framework. And that's where the agents are making decisions for themselves on which agents to collaborate with. Now, what we find in multi-agent orchestration is that you're going to get a more probabilistic outcome. So when we're dealing with our computer systems and AI, we've got 2 words that are going to become very familiar to you. One is probabilistic and the other is deterministic. Now, if you're using a database and you're querying the information, so you're looking it up to get an answer come out, and it's a traditional database or a traditional SaaS system, you're going to get a deterministic result. You're guaranteed the consistency of what comes out. When we're dealing with AI, machine learning, and our generative models, our large language models, what we get there is a probabilistic outcome. It's not guaranteed to be exactly the same each time. Now, that's great in many aspects because you get this creativity and you get lots of new ideas. However, in business, sometimes we need a more deterministic outcome, a more consistent outcome. And we still want this benefit of this creativity and what AI machine learning can do with bringing together all these different concepts at the same time to give a more powerful outcome. So that then takes us into the 4th treatment, which is the advanced automations. And that's where you're looking to get more consistency in the deterministic outcomes. And you also often might need some more controls. You might require certain timings to be delayed, or items to be triggered at certain times, or based on different actions in different systems. But the main thing that you're after there is a really structured and reliable outcome. And so actually we're having a great chat with one of our head of talent here actually the other day. And we were talking about, when you're in the Go Team People business, where we're our people outsourcing business, part of the process in recruitment, right, is about, because you post a job ad online, and then there's a whole range of activities that need to be done with sourcing, because to get the top talent, it isn't just about posting a job ad online. Today, we need to meet people where they are in locations like on social media, like on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and X and so forth. And so therefore, it makes sense that in the sourcing activity, you're actually posting online, and you may be doing some searches and direct outreach on LinkedIn and so forth. And so one way to look at achieving that activity would be to use multi-agent orchestration, because you could say, hey, can you please run some social campaigns for this particular job ad? And that'd be really cool, right? Just, one, and the agents could go off and, hey, your Facebook post writing agent could write the Facebook post, and the Instagram could do its work, and LinkedIn and so forth. When you use multi-agent orchestration, one of the things, the probabilistic style outcomes increase. You don't get as deep a guarantee that the agent's going to choose to do those activities. And so when you've got a process that you really want to ensure that it's executed exactly the same every time, then the advanced automations are going to be more powerful there, more reliable, more deterministic in their outcome. And so as we're as we're going through our digital transformations and we're building this new AI layer into everything that we're doing, there's this decision. Am I looking for a conversational agent, a linear workflow automation, a multi-agent orchestration, or advanced automations? So, as we're layering in this new information, we've now got our human learning challenge, don't we? Which is like, I need to remember all this information to be able to apply it. And we've addressed before the challenges with human learning with in-house forgetting scale, that we forget 50% of what we've learned within an hour and 90% within a week if we're not going to reinforce it. And so our ability for our IQ to increase with all this new information, we are held back unless we're going to practice doing the activity. Now, the beauty of where we're at today is that AI is actually going to increase our IQ faster, because as we lock onto a new concept, a new framework, we can then build that into our AI agents and into our processes and workflows in business to actually enhance our knowledge with not just the content of the framework, but the context of the framework in action when it gets applied. And that way, it's almost like we're learning by osmosis consistently. And this is where I think that there's been a lot of concerns about young people coming out of school and university and college, and how are they going to catch up to all the changes with AI, and people who are in more senior positions with more experience, if a lot of these roles are going to be lost to AI? I actually don't think they will. Although we do it, it is shared by the World Economic Forum that there'll be 90 million jobs lost between now and 2030. There'll be 170 million new jobs, 170 million new jobs created as a result. Now, as those new roles and new jobs come in, some of them are actually just this step change in what the roles are, and they're jumping further to more strategic, more advanced versions of those roles. And in doing so, it'll apply the approaches like we're doing today that will increase the IQ, increase the knowledge, increase the skill set of an individual very rapidly, because they'll be able to apply the framework, learn the content, but actually embed it within the agents and automations so that you're getting context of what it comes out. So it's actually a really exciting time. And when we can look at it through that lens, the fear can dissipate, and the optimism, opportunity, the love, the inquisitiveness, all of that starts to come out now, because we've got a new paradigm, we've got a new mindset. There's a new tool set in around using AI agents, and then there's the new skill set, which is what you're all here learning today as well. Okay, let's go build something. Let's get into the exciting stuff. I'm going to share a different screen now, and we'll jump into today's build. And Nice will share with you the instructions for today, our worksheet. And we've got 2 agents to build, a prompt template and a workflow for today's session. And while I'm bringing that up, the exciting news, there is a big upgrade coming at the end of this month, if not early May. It is so exciting. And many of you have seen some of our advanced automations like we did last week, but it's about to get even better. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to share it with you. It's pretty exciting what's coming next. Okay, here's today's session. Now, in your folder there, you've got access to, please download all 4 of these images. We're going to be using those today, so download those now. Go through and download each of those items so that you have them available and ready to add in. And then open up the worksheet with all of our instructions for today, and let's get started. So this is about designing AI agents to improve processes, because in everyone's roles will hit these moments of, I'm just not sure what to build. So the end in mind for this is to be able to put in your industry role, or if you're consulting or doing this for someone else, industry role, hourly rate, what the activity is that you're doing that you want some extra discovery on to find out where AI agents will help, and the where the different activities in a process are going to sit on that 6A hierarchy. Is it augment, assure, advise, accelerate, assist, adapt? And then what treatment will be placed on those particular activities and tasks? Will it be conversational agents? Will it be linear workflow automation? Will it be multi-agent orchestration or advanced automations? So, okay, let's get our workspace set up. As you know, I like to set it up with the instructions on the right and then Rayopro on the left. So let's get ourselves all nicely set up. And let's get into it. So that is the challenge, right? How do we actually come up with all these new agent ideas and our approach to applying AI? And as I mentioned earlier, or you might have seen me share before, businesses that scale actually have some things happening up inside them, whether you're aware of it or not. The first is that businesses that scale well have a very clear vision and a mission and purpose and values, and they use those to guide their activities on a daily basis. Then a little bit rarer to see are the overarching frameworks, but it's the frameworks that deliver greater clarity on the types of activities and actions that you take. And so a moment ago, I shared this one here, right? The 6A hierarchy framework. That is a framework example. So, and so also are these treatments. They're frameworks to give us guidance on how to take action. Then after that, you get your strategy, then your goals, which we use the OKRX methodology and KPIs. And then after that, you've got systems, processes, procedures, and steps. And anytime we have a goal or something that we need to deliver, the quality of the system is the key. And as James Clear says from Atomic Habits, he says, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And so it's on to us as contributors to think about each week, how are we going to improve our systems? And I can already see a world where our weeks are going to change, whereby we'll get to a point that 20% of the week will actually be invested in optimizing processes, optimizing agents, optimizing our workflows to actually enhance the results, because it'll be that investment in systems improvement that'll accelerate the overall goal outcome. Especially the more that you learn about delivering upon a goal, what's working, what's not, new creative ideas for optimization and change. It's now, it's a crazy world, right? We could be investing the time in optimizing the AI agents and automations and then seeing the leverage result, which is quite different from how we've done it in the past, which is, I learn a new skill and I sort of fumble through it because I haven't built a habit behind it. And I need to keep going back to practicing it, to improve it and hone and craft that skill. And now we're going to be able to actually deploy AI agents and automations to help support us to deliver a result. We then get to review how those results came out and then optimize it again. Now, this is really the scientific method, where we make a hypothesis about what the outcome is going to be. We design the methodology and we run the experiment, and then we review the outcome. And from that, we then are saying, well, are we happy? Did we actually achieve the outcome we desired? And if we didn't, let's go and review that methodology, the overall experiment, make some adjustments and run it again. And so we get to continue to do this. Now, what this does is actually generates not just this feeling of being a scientist, but actually an innovator's culture, this culture of innovation. And I heard one speaker recently say, we're moving into a new age right now. I think that's very clear. It hasn't been defined what that age is, and some might say it's the age of AI. But I liked his take. We're actually moving into the innovators age. We've gone from the agrarian age as farmers to the industrial age. We went to manufacturing. Then we moved on to the knowledge worker age. Um, some might say then we went to AI, but I like this idea that we're moving now to the innovators age, where everyone becomes an innovator within all the work they do, because there are new tools now to allow us to progress forward. And so when we can take on the concept of mindset, tool set, skill set, or mindset, skill set, tool set, that we have this new paradigm, the new way to look at the world, which is now through this idea of an innovators, the innovators age and innovators mindset of constant improvement. We've got these new tool sets with AI, and that as we harness our skill set and we practice on it, we're going to continue to innovate and move forward. But that is going to require all of us to make a declaration to actually shift into allocating the time and making this very much part of our identity to become innovators and carving out the time. Now, at GoTeam and Multiply Tech, we've got time set aside each day called power hours, where we're doubling down and focusing on deep work. And those power hours are going to be really great time to actually get into this innovation, get into the optimization, get into rebuilding and crafting and creating these AI agents and workflows. But of course, then you need to know how to do that. So that's what this particular session's all about. Now, here's just some extra detail on what I shared earlier, so you can come back and read this about the six A's hierarchy framework for enhancing human AI collaboration, so you can get to this amplified intelligence even faster. And then understanding these 4 treatments, I've got some more detail behind them. There's the conversational agents, I should add in there, grounded with business knowledge, because that's the key, that these are actually grounded with business knowledge, so that they're very helpful and specific, grounded with business knowledge. And then so when to use these. So some great examples here are things like customer support roles where there's immediate answers required, when users need assistance navigating frequently asked questions, in situations where human-like interaction is beneficial for engagement. And we can chat with the AI agents. The next one is that linear workflow. So, and we use this for repetitive tasks where you want consistency and accuracy. Processes that follow a linear logic sequence, such as data entry and approval workflows, and when the simplicity of a process execution without branching or deviation is desired. Then you've got your multi-agent orchestration. In this treatment, the multiple agents work collaboratively towards solving complex problems. The agentic, I should say, agentic framework allows for an organized structure, ensuring that various agents effectively coordinate their efforts. So, but it's going to be, can be quite different each time. So great for problem solving, great in projects that require input from multiple stakeholders or departments. And when you want responsiveness to changes and collaboration. Now, there's also going to be, I want to connect also between this multi-agent orchestration and the advanced automations, which is where you've got these, you need this deterministic outcome, you've got intricacy of processes, you might have multiple SaaS products that you need to connect to share the information. There's going to be times when you'll use multi-agent orchestration for like exploration. And then when you get an outcome that you really like, you then move that to advanced automation, so you can get the consistent deterministic outputs. And an example that popped up in our business yesterday was we were looking at a particular view on an internal piece of software that we've built here that helps in our whole sales process and management. And it had a table of information. And in that table of information, there was then more questions for more data. And typically, in any organization going through digital transformation and they see a view of information, it'll then be like, oh, can we have this other field? Can we have this other column or row with additional information? And usually that request then goes back to the IT or dev team and needs to be put in a backlog and groomed for timing to execute. The future of this with AI agents and multi-agent orchestration is that you'll be able to chat to your systems, get the answers out before you've got those views and tables, and then determine, can you get the right answers out? Can you get the right information? Or how would you like the information to look? And then once you've got that, you've done that inquisitive interrogation, that discovery step, then you can move forward to actually making the changes in the software or setting up automations with reports to deliver that information to you before you might change a software system. Or sometimes you don't have the beauty of changing the software system because you don't own it. And so the future will be where you're connecting the agents to those software systems to read everything in the APIs. And some might have heard this concept of MCP servers or model context protocol servers, where it's going to be even easier for the agents to connect to the SaaS systems to get the data out. And that's one of the exciting announcements coming for at the end of this month, if not early May, as we introduced MCP into our system. Okay, we're going to, whoops, I've got a little bit of my just general working now. I'm going to bleep that out. We're going to go into part one. Oh, I've got the wrong one. Okay, what's going on here? Oh my goodness, what happened to my file? Sorry, guys. I have been copying something into the wrong file. One moment while I get the right file for you. Whoops. I have a huge body of work that I did for you this morning. Where did we go? What happened to it? That is crazy. Where are we? It's very, very interesting. Okay. David D. I think, well, we are live. You know, we're live. uh, let's see. Where do we go? If not, you're just going to follow along with me. Well, we need it because I know I've got it pre-built. How bizarre. Well, there you go. I've gone and edited an old one. We've got half and half. Here we go. I'll update there we go. At least the work wasn't lost. I've overwritten something else. Let's go and copy this into the right file, which would be much more helpful. It'd be very confusing otherwise. Let's go to here. Okay. In case you downloaded the instructions today, please download these again because I've just updated that with the latest information so that it'll work. Your instructions need to match the activity. Here we go. All right, let's get into, so please download that if you need to, otherwise just open it up in Google Chrome. So it's nice and easy for you. Okay, you can see I've done a little bit of work for you today. Okay, let's have a look. Part one, creating the agent. So I'm just going to move to a new area for me. And here we're going to start by going to the agents area and selecting build new agent. So click on build new agent. And the first step is to copy and paste the name of the agent over. So we're going to have our first agent as a AI agent process design consultant. Okay, so we're going to copy that agent across, paste it into here. And then we can personalize the agent with an emoji. So we can either select an emoji or we can have a custom avatar. So if you've downloaded those images from before, we're going to use a custom avatar today. And I've numbered the images in the order that we'll be uploading. So let's use the first one. Oh, actually, I've given my instructions in the wrong order. Goodness me, I'm having lots of fun with you today. Let's here's what we'll do. I think I've missed the instructions. Wow. For the first agent. Goodness me. Yeah, okay. But we're actually going to not start with that agent. We're going to start with a different one, which is the name of the first agent. We're going to call the first agent process improvement engineer. Process improvement engineer. Okay, I'll copy and paste it into the chat so you've got it. Process improvement engineer. So change that name to process improvement engineer. Okay, then select the avatar and upload image number 1, process improvement engineer. And make sure you click on apply so that the image then installs, gets uploaded and installs. Now we can give a fun name here. I'm going to call this engineer Maria. You can give any name you like. Phil's just asking for the link to the avatar picture posted again. Yeah, so here's, let me get you to folder. Nice, can you help out with that one in the background? Here's the folder for you, Phil. There you go. And with that there, we can then add a category next to help find. I'm going to add this into engineering because I want to keep thinking about process engineering in the business constantly. We're constantly rebuilding, redesigning, optimizing. Now, for the goal statement, we're just going to use the AI to generate the goal statement for the process improvement engineer and for the backstory as well. So just click on the AI to write that for us. The next agent we build, I've put a lot more time into prompting, and I'll explain why. And you'll see that one. So for the next one, we need to do copy and paste. But for this one, we're just going to work with what the AI suggests for us. Now, here we go. Thank you, OpenAI, in the background there. It took a little bit of time. I know the OpenAI is certainly overheating with all the usage of their servers at the moment. Now, because it's a process engineer here, we want real detailed thinking. So I'm going to go for professional in tone of voice and compliant on the disk profile. And then quite simply, we'll scroll to the top and create agent. Everyone at GoTeam and Multiplied Tech will keep these in private so that we don't end up with lots of the same. And then once you've created the agent, the next step is to select publish. So click on publish and then publish that agent. Okay, with that agent created, we'll now go on to agent number 2. So select agents and then build new agent. And this one's going to be a bit more detailed. So this one will be our AI agent process design consultant. So AI agent process design consultant, copy that name into the name field. And then for our avatar, we'll select image number 2. It's Reggie. Thanks for joining us, Reggie. We'll apply this one. Add in the name Reggie. I'm going to keep the same category of engineering. And you can add as many categories as you like, and you can put custom categories in. Custom categories are now available under your icon in the settings area here is where the custom categories are. Now, for the goal statement, what I'd like you to do is copy and paste in the purple writing from item number 5 there into the goal statement. Now, here's the reason why. We're now moving into applying a new framework for this particular agent. It's not a framework that has been declared. It would be baked into a model out there. This is part of now our IP within our organization of what we've created and designed. In your own organizations, you will have built your own IP. And so you want to be able to get that IP into your agents so they're going to be more effective for your own organization. And in particular here, it's having these 4 core AI agent treatments around conversational agents, linear workflow automation, multi-agent orchestration, the agentic framework approach, and the advanced automation. So I've added that in here. The backstory, you can copy and paste this one in. And in the backstory, I've actually also included some additional information. Now, this one, the way I created this was the first part here was what was done by default by the AI. That's what the first portion is. Now, the second part here is actually some information from our new book that really is about to come out. We're just doing the final decision on the title, whether it will be Untangling the AI Overwhelm or Navigating the AI Maze. We're getting those 2 parts and a little bit more. So next week, we will have version 1 of the book. I've got a spelling error there, but the AI won't judge me on that. It'll figure it out and we can fix that up. So I've added in here, and this is from the book actually. It says, well, first I'll put, I also understand many people are concerned that the AI will take their jobs. I say, forget AI replacing your team or your people and losing their jobs. The real magic happens when you combine human intuition with AI processing power. We call this amplified intelligence, and it's where your true competitive edge lives. I found that the best amplified intelligence implementations often follow a pattern we call the 6A hierarchy framework, enhancing human AI collaboration. In addition to considering which treatment to take, we also recognize the levels of augment, assure, advise, accelerate, assist, and adapt. So we're really taking this consulting agent forward to be thinking based on this methodology, this framework. Now, the next one is the base instructions, and I've done something similar. Actually brought together this information in more detail and fleshed out. So it's quite a significant base instruction. So copy and paste those in. It's very advanced, and it also considers these frameworks as a result. Now for this one, I'm going for professional, and I'm actually going to go with dominant because I want this agent to be very direct, tell us what we need, give us what we need quickly. And so we're going with a dominant style disk profile, so a very directive. Okay, with that done, all we need to do is select create agent. There we go. And then the final step, publish. Now, just if you haven't picked up on it before, this little icon over here is showing unpublished. And when we select publish, it's going to turn to green. And we've got version control. So if you make changes, you can track those changes. Or version notes, I should say. Okay, that's publishing away. And once that turns green, we've published the agent. Okay, now, because we're creating this analyzer, we're going to need to be able to, that we want to reuse and repeat every day as we're reviewing the work that we're doing. We want to be able to capture key information into workflow in a consistent way. So we'll use the prompts area to generate a prompt template. And to do that, now once you've navigated to prompts, select build new prompt. And we'll see our no code editor here. So we can just build this out, create it on the left, and you'll see the build out occur on the right. And there's a little sneak preview of what we're building. And all we need to do is copy and paste as we walk through. So we're going to fill out the name field first. This is an activity analyzer for building AI agents. And then the description, we'll just keep it simple as the same for the moment. And then from here, we'll go on to setting up the form fields. And the structure of this is input, input, number, text area, text area. So put in the first one of input, and then we need to copy and paste across the label and the placeholder. So the first label to copy across is industry. Copy that one in, paste it in, and then enter the industry as the placeholder text. And if you're new to this, you'll notice that on the right-hand side, it now says industry, and that field to complete has got the placeholder that says enter the industry. And that makes it easy for the next person who's utilizing it, and you're reusing it as well, putting that placeholder. Okay, let's go through. The next one is also input. We've got position title and placeholder to enter the position title as the tip there. And then we'll add in a number. So on the options for the form fields here, we've got number. So select number. And then the label will be hourly rate. So paste that in. And then we won't end up putting actual dollar sign in because we just want a straight number. So we give that placeholder instruction there, which is enter the hourly rate in dollars. It could be a different currency rate, whatever you'd like. You can give that instruction so long as it gets updated in the prompt as well. Now, the next section here is goal or activity. We're going to use that as a text area. So you've got a bit more room to write it. So goal or activity. I've kept it simple with just an open text area, so you can put whatever you like in, but you could advance this further if you had the measurements around a goal. What is it now? What would you like it to be? So it further drives the AI to come up with ideas to impact that goal movement. Then the final one is adding one more text area, which is with a label of current steps. And then I've got enter any current steps. May or may not have them. And we'll look at that with different ways to approach it. Now, the next thing here is to create the actual prompt around this information, because what happens with your prompt template is it's going to inject the answers that you put into those fields into the prompt. This saves you having to rewrite prompts or try and save them in odd locations. It means that they're all there for you. Now, you can just copy all of this here and paste it in. And if you've done this before, you'll notice you'll be very familiar with the curly brackets around these words. If it's your first time, what the curly brackets are doing are referencing the content that is captured in these particular fields. These are called variables. And what you can also do is you can delete one of those out. So let's delete it out. And if you want to insert that variable, it's actually been created for you here as a button. So there we have the label of industry, and a button was created for us. So we can click on it and it will insert that variable, the code for that variable. Now, it is important if you're doing the copy and paste approach that you've copied exactly and pasted exactly in here so that this matches. But if you want to be thorough to make sure it definitely does match, you then delete these out and replace them. And that's a good activity to do now because, that's at hourly rate should say of, not at. The large language model will figure it out. So put that in twice. But yeah, good practice to do is if you're copying and pasting from someone else's work, just to reinsert these, just in case you had a spelling difference up here. If it's not exactly the same, it won't end up injecting that variable into the prompt later on. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually choose GPT-4o as a model here today on this one. And then from a category perspective, I'm going to add in engineering. I'm going to stay on that theme today with engineering, so I can find that later on. I'll also turn on web browsing because in this first step, we're going to actually have the AI create a numbered step-by-step guide on this current process. And if we don't actually give much of a guide, it can then go and get creative and do some research and come up with some ideas. So I'm going to turn that on. I'll save those changes. And we need to publish it. So let's select publish. I'm just going to save that again for good measure. Oh, and let's make it beautiful. Let's add in an image up the top here. So just beside the name, we can customize that with the avatar. And that's actually image number 3 for Activity Analyzer. So let's put that one into, make sure we apply it. And now once that image goes in, just remember to select save again. So select save image. All right, with that in place, let's go build a workflow. There's only 2 steps in the workflow today, so it's nice and quick. So we'll go to the workflow area. And select build new workflow. And for the name, we'll put in here the agent, the AI agent treatment and process idea generator. Paste that into the name. And then in the description, I've got a little bit more. I put the AI agent treatment and process ideas generator and cost saving estimator. We're going to get the AI to come up with some forecasted cost savings in applying these treatments. All right. Scroll through our instructions and it'll take us to task 1. Only 2 tasks to add in today. Select that task block and you'll see the menu appear on the right-hand side. And the first task here, the title, capture information about the activity or goal. So we'll copy that in, put that into the title. We can actually leave the instruction blank here. We can choose the model if we like. I'm going to choose GPT-4o again. Because we just got the prompt template is what we're working on. So we don't need to give it more instructions again. Can if you like, but it's not required. So this is our activity analyzer for building AI agents. We'll add that one in. Okay. And with that added in, the next step is to add the next task block, which you do by selecting the plus sign here at the bottom of this one. So, oops, what did I do? I forgot to put in the agent. Let's put in Maria here, who is our process improvement engineer. Let's make sure she's in there. Let's not leave her behind. Cool. Now we'll add the next block. And we'll go back to the task area here to begin with in the navigation. So we scroll through our instructions. This one here for task 2, here's the title, review and enhance the process and analyze cost savings. Put in the title. Now, let me let you in on a little secret. As a flow engineer, which is you, okay, you're creating these AI agent flows. It does take an innovator's mindset. It takes this scientific approach of hypothesis, creating your methodology, running the experiment, getting an outcome, and then making a decision if you're happy with the outcome, and then refining as you go through. Now, today's work, I started last night at we leave here probably about 7:30, 7:45 last night until about 9 o'clock. No, 11 o'clock last night, reworking this to get the right optimized outcome. And then I spent about another half an hour this morning before this session. So, but what I've got is something really reusable for the future. So I want you to know that because sometimes when we go through these, it's really fast. And I use the AI to generate the instructions initially, but I couldn't get what I want out of it. In fact, this was a 3-step task workflow before. I've changed quite a bit around. So copy this particular prompt and know that this one is actually, there's been a fair bit of work in this one. By the way, those next portions that I need to remove out. I know. Yeah, I spent a lot of time making it work, but I didn't get my instructions too neat for you. We don't need 3 blocks today. It's just 2. Sorry, if you've downloaded this, please get rid of that block 3. It is, and make sure you've got this particular instructions in. It's really important for the quality of the outcome. Then I'm going to select GPT-4o again today. And then for the agent, it's our second agent, Reggie, our AI agent process design consultant that needs to be added in here. Let's quickly update that for you. All right. With this, we've got one more step. Once you go to settings, and let's add in the image today, which will be image number 4. So we can make this look great. So AI agent treatment, process idea generator, and cost saving estimator. Put that in and then select apply. And then your final step is to publish. So select publish, and for everyone at GoTeam Multiply Tech, select private and then publish that one. It's always a good idea to publish in private first, run it, make sure you're happy with it before it's then open for the whole organization. That was definitely my case in preparing this one, because I did so many iterations of it that I definitely want to see that would work first before I set it off. Okay, final step today, and we're right on the buzzer, aren't we? 7:52, is to actually run this workflow. So go into a chat and select the workflow icon from the chat. And then you can search for that particular workflow. I've just put in AI. And there's our AI agent treatment. Select, make sure it's highlighted, and then click on select workflow. I'll give you a prompt for this one to kick it off. And I've put in here a prompt for, please help me come up with a process improvement and AI treatment ideas for pre-sales meeting preparation. Click send on that one. And that's now going to bring up our workflow. And you'll notice that the exclamation mark appears. And the reason for that is it's letting us know that we need to fill out the form. So click on the fill out form to continue, and we need to fill out each of these items. Now you can go and do that for yourself, or you can copy the prompts that I've got here. So we've put in here for industry, business process outsourcing, sales admin assistant is the position title. I've put in the average US hourly rate for that role at $22. And then the goal or activity, I haven't given it a lot. Conducting pre-meeting sales preparation with a C-suite executive. And now I'm going to be really tough on it and not give it hardly anything in the current steps, because I want to see what it comes up with, see if it's going to be more innovative. So I've just put current steps. Look, there's no automation. It's very manual. Now, a better item here is to actually put in the steps that you're currently doing. What is your current state? But I'm just going to go like this and see what we get. Well, I know what we're going to get because I've ran it before, but you can then run it. The reason why I didn't put much in there is that sometimes when people are need to shift into documenting the steps that they actually do, everything slows down for them. And you want to keep speed. So you can just run it, probably give you a few ideas, and then you could go back and rerun it again. So this is done quite well. You know, mine, remembering we're in the probabilistic zone. So what I show will be slightly different from what you see. But it's come up with initial meeting request review, agenda setting, research phase, documentation gathering, participant data collection, material preparation, logistical arrangements, pre-meeting briefing, check and confirm, and finalize and follow up. So it's pretty good. And then it's gone on to the next stage here. And this is what I'm looking for, is the step-by-step human process and AI optimized workflow, because that was in my prompt that I'm after. I want to know what's the estimated time to do all these activities? And then what's the human cost based on? Now, look, it's got an error, hasn't it? It's gone probabilistic on me. It's put $25 per hour, but I put in 22, I think, unless I'm tired and I made a mistake. So you're gonna need to check that, especially around metrics with Gen AI, with numbers. And then the AI optimized workflow. So it's gone in here and looked at, potentially the time it might take. I think it's overestimated its time to do these activities, but nonetheless, it gives us a starting point and a guide. And so it's giving a potential saving here of running that particular AI and workflow, which now starts to set a business case for digital transformation. Because when you go in and then get into the next phase, which is actually setting up the AI agents and workflows, you're going to need to invest some time to create those. You want to make sure that the activity that you're doing, there's an ROI on making that change. Of course, that's great that it gave you the suggestions, but how are we going to attack it? Well, we're going to attack it now based on our 6A hierarchy and the AI treatment. So for each of those steps, it's got some ideas for us. Remember, this doesn't have to be the final outcome. This is about helping to give us new ideas. And then we add our human intuition and intelligence with the AI processing power. And together we get amplified intelligence, and we actually get to move forward at greater pace. So as the example here, initial meeting request, the AI agent request processor, and assist, and then it's suggesting a linear workflow. And Richard's saying, "Mate, I haven't quite got my head around prompts yet, despite building several in Flow FridAI. I think it's because we're going quite fast, and I'm just copying and pasting. It would be helpful if you can provide some text around prompts and why we use them, what they're good for, and craft them." Hey, can someone please share? Nice. Do you have my book on mastering the machine, the prompt template, prompt guide? If we can send that to Richard. I've got a book on Amazon, but we'll give you it to you free today, Richard. And also, that's a great topic. Let's hit that next week. Let's get into, because like the AI is writing a fair bit of prompting for us, but then I'm applying other thinking of that in crafting these to take it to the next level. And so next week we'll do a complete breakdown on prompt engineering, because that is a subset of all this to be really effective as a flow engineer is prompt engineering. So that's cool, man. Thank you for asking that. Same for you. Yeah, everyone can have the book. So let's just drop it, a link to the PDF in here so everyone's got it. Now, I will preface this by saying I wrote that book 12 months ago, 18 months ago. And so there's some more advancements to it, which once the current book gets out. So that's the Amazon, but can we get the free, just the PDF as well for everyone? I'd love you to, or maybe is it free on Amazon? I think we originally put it up for sale, and then it might be free. $1.99. So happy if you can go either way. Love you to buy it, not to make money, but please do. If you like it, give us a star or two. That'd be great. But happy for you to have it. So yeah, understanding how to prompt well is really powerful. Wow, 1 minute to go. Okay, so play with this. Here's an advanced item to this as well. I've got in our documentation, I think I've put in here also an example of our sales meeting process activity. And so this is even more detailed. Here's some of the information that we need to be gathering: company name, number of employees, industry, company overview, including vision, mission, and values, industry news, including information and AI related news, review and press release of the company or recent news, research key people in the company, founders, C-suite, research and review meeting attendees, LinkedIn profiles, preparing communication style reminder cards for each attendee based on DISC personality profile, research open jobs online for the company, review the roles the potential client has requested to discuss the meeting, conduct an onshore and offshore salary analysis for the roles, conduct a LinkedIn insights analysis to the available talent in the Philippines, where they're located, find matching talent profile examples in our database, prepare the roles in our strategic workforce plan, prepare the examples of other potential positions that may benefit the company, and prepare examples of AI agents and amplified intelligence to support the offshore team members in their roles. Now, we're going through digital transformation ourselves on these and building out all the way from the basic AI agent right through to advanced automation. So automation engineers are working on this. So, and then the one thing, so what you can do is, in this example here, you can take your process, your current steps, put it in that same form to get additional analysis. You can also put the time that's spent on each of these in the analysis to further enhance it. Oh, thanks, Richard. You bought it and I can retire. I love you, brother. And so, take what you're currently doing, put it in, see how it can be enhanced, see where it can be applied. I've just put that in there to give you to help you with some ideas, because it's often easier if you've got something to work from. But now with this particular workflow, everyone is enabled. Everyone is now stepped into amplified intelligence. You can look at every activity that you're doing, put it in this workflow, and actually broaden your whole epistemology, whole mental model of what's actually possible. It isn't the final step. It still takes the human intuition. It's going to take the drive to take the action. And this is going to be one, there's a few characteristics or traits, skills and traits for us as we move forward as human beings working with AI, and how we really differentiate. One of those is your internal drive. Okay. Oh, by the way, there is no Flow Friday next week because it is Easter, Good Friday. It's a holiday. Okay, it'll be the following week. We'll do the prompt engineering. Please remind me about that. And we are over time. It'll be just 60 seconds more. How you differentiate in the future and how you really progress careers and business is to understand that there are skills and traits for us that the AI won't have. Okay, it doesn't have drive. It doesn't have that. It needs to be guided, directed, set up to do the execution. You have drive. The critical thinking skills that you'll bring in that will be further enhanced, and your IQ will increase by using the AI. The AI will give you the amplified intelligence, but you still got to have that internal drive to go forward and start thinking critically, something that doesn't get taught in schools very often. Creativity is what you'll bring as well. Right? Your ability to see the world and the connections in different ways, and in your own internal creativity is a characteristic and a skill. We're also going to need to have greater specificity in our communication, and that is definitely a whole new world for us to be considering. But we see this all the time. You ask a question, you don't get the answer that you thought you're going to get. Maybe most of the time that's because we haven't asked with enough precision. So we'll cover these more as we progress. Also, you'll find once you read the book, a lot of the things that I've shared over the last 40 episodes and more will make a lot of sense because it's in a very structured approach. And looking forward to you getting that book in your hands soon and really accelerating your results. Hey, everyone, really, really wonderful to have you online today. We've got a few minutes over, so thank you very much. Wishing you a wonderful Friday, a great weekend, and I hope everyone has a nice bit of time off with the upcoming vacation time. Thanks, everyone, and here's to your amplified intelligence and winning with AI agents at work. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing day. Thank you.